Gentlemen, I'm Agent Carter. I supervise all operations for this division.
Must be the accent, Queen Victoria. Thought I was signing up for the U.S. Army.
What's your name, soldier?
Gilmore Hodge, Your Majesty.
Step forward, Hodge. Put your right foot forward.
You gonna wrestle? Because I got a few moves I know you'll like.
Agent Carter,
Colonel Phillips.
I can see that you are breaking into candidates. That's good. Get your ass up out of that dirt and stand in that line of attention until somebody comes and tells you what to do.
Yes, sir.
General Patton has said that wars are fought with weapons, but they are won by men. We are going to win this war because we have the best men. And because they are going to get better. Much better. The Strategic Scientific Reserve is an allied effort made up of the best minds in the free world. Our goal is to create the best army in history. But every army starts with one man. Roger! Get off of there! At the end of this week, we will choose that man. Let's go! He will be the first in a new breed of super soldiers. Roger! Get that rifle out of the mud! Nay, will personally escort Adolf Hitler to the gates of hell. Up the pace, ladies! Let's go! Let's go! Double time! Come on! Faster! Faster! Move! Move! One! Hold! That flag means we're only at the halfway point. First man to bring it to me gets a ride back with Agent Carter. Move! Move! Come on, get up there! That's all you got! This army's in trouble! Get up there, Hawk! Come on, get up there! Nobody's got that flag in 17 years! Now fall back in the line! Come on, fall in! Let's go! Get back into formation! Rogers! I said fall in!
Hey, Shalom. Praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakodash. Hey, much mercy to you sincere brothers out there, the true house of David. And Shalom to all you haters and you false brethren of the new covenant that spy out our liberty. And ultimately, your heart is not right. Another thing is, too, what I want to go into is what the Lord did. He gave us eyes to see. Now, the eyes that the Lord gave you to see is that new heart that you have. Now, you only can have that new heart, first of all, if you're the elect. Second of all, if you've repented. And last but not least, Yahweh Shai is in you and you're one with him. So by you being one with Yahweh Shai, that means he have made you whole in the spirit. As concerning the doctrine, as concerning having the Lord in you, this is what's going to be in you. Now, you're still going to be in this flesh. And this flesh, it still is subject to sin because we're surrounded by sin. But what the Lord have done is made you whole unto him. That means when you're made whole in the spirit, you're not going to bring lies into the doctrine. That means you're not going to teach false doctrine. That means you're not going to teach lies. You're going to be whole for Yahweh Shai and be perfect as the Lord was perfect. As the Lord was whole, you're going to be whole. And a lot of guys are, man, it is very heavy, but hey, we're blessed because we could see what the Lord was seeing. We're speaking the things the Lord was speaking. And because, like I said yesterday, a lot of guys are not worthy. The Lord is taking his spirit off of guys. He's taking the name from guys. It's heavy. And guys are just reprobates, man, more worse than before they came into this truth. These guys in these camps, reprobates. The thing about these guys in these groups, though, and I'm going to say it, is that they're teaching the Bible without fully being with the Lord. And it is very heavy what's happening. So by guys not fully being with the Lord, they cannot teach you of the new heart. They cannot teach you of the new mind. They cannot teach you the new covenant. They can't teach you the new heart, which that is the most important thing right now for the election, is understanding that you have the new heart, and for you repenting, for you to put off the old man, the old ways of this world. Sad to say, when the Lord said in Matthew 7, he's not dealing with broad gates or wide paths, or the scripture tell you in second Esdras that the multitude is going to perish. The new heart of Yahushua, because guys say they have stony hearts in the new covenant, it really does not have anything to do with wide gates. It doesn't. It really doesn't. It doesn't have nothing to do with wide gates. It doesn't have nothing to do with churches, broad paths, synagogues. So guys may teach this word and using the Lord's name, but ultimately guys are not with the Lord in the new covenant. You see what I'm saying? To find access to the Lord and to the new covenant, you have to get out of the wide gates. And you got certain guys that say they're teaching new covenant, but they're bugged out. They're bugged out of their fucking mind. They say the name of the Lord don't matter anymore. It's crazy. So guys take the word of the Lord in vain and in name. So what the new heart of flesh is all about is you having eyes to see beyond the heart. See, a lot of guys think they could just fool, because guys are carnal and they don't have a new heart. They think they could fool you, you know what I'm saying, with just those two eyes, not understanding that we could see beyond the two fucking eyes. This is Matthew chapter 13, verse 1. And the same day Yahushua went out of the house and sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went up into the ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables. And behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he had sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls of the earth came and devoured them up. And some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth, and for which sprung up, because they had no deepness of the earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, because they had no root, and they withered away. And this is synonymous with men. Guys are being devoured. Guys, because they have no root in this word. And from the beginning, guys really wasn't deeply rooted with this. The guys were just doing it to, I guess, because they don't have friends or something, or guys are just doing this to get attention, or guys are just doing it for money. But guys are not deeply rooted. So what's happening is guys are being rooted up. It says, and when the sun was up, they were scorched, because they had no root in them, and they withered away. Guys are withering away in the spirit. This is spiritual. This is all spiritual. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. So these are all these reprobates. This is synonymous with all these reprobates. They're falling amongst thorns. They're being choked up with this world, because guys don't have no deepness of the Lord in them. They're being sprung up. They're being devoured. Guys are being devoured because the world is devouring their ass, because they don't have no deepness. Another thing too, when you look at a tree, you know, like sometimes the roots under the ground is more bigger than the tree up top. Now, because guys they're not rooted really in Yahushua, that means basically they're not of the election. So they're not really rooted in Yahushua. You have guys, they're good teachers, but their heart is not with the Lord. Does that make sense? You have a lot of guys, they could teach a bunch of shit, but they're not rooted in the Lord, meaning they can't really break down the Lord like that or the new covenant. So these are certain things that you got to understand. Like you have many guys, they could just reciprocate knowledge and just teach you forever and never, like a fucking history teacher. And guys can parrot all day. But one thing you can't parrot is having the new heart. Is being of the elect, being in the covenant. See, the new covenant, it's not something that's going to be for the world, that the world's going to accept. It's so heavy that guys that's teaching the truth, they reject the new covenant. You see what I'm saying? Like groups and camps, they reject it. They say they need new bodies. So that's why the new covenant is not for everybody. It's not for the world. It's not even for churches and synagogues. So if the new covenant is not for everybody, right? So guess what? Everybody is not of the election. And especially guys denying the covenant. You see? Matthew 13:8. But others fell unto good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30. Who have ears to hear, let him hear. Right? So others is going to fall on that good ground. And they're going to bring forth fruit. Now, what is the fruits of the Spirit? Let's go into this and then we'll go back here. Because it's all having a good heart and a good mind. And because we're in a hateful world, not everybody's going to have a good heart and a good mind. The overwhelming majority of people, they're going to have a bad heart and a hateful mind. You see what I'm saying? So now with this truth in this time, we could actually tell who has a good heart and who has a bad heart. A lot of guys, they really have bad hearts. And we're at the point now, really, you really can't fake it. You see what I'm saying? So when the scripture tell you 100-fold, some brought forth fruit, 100-fold, some brought forth fruit, 60-fold, some brought fruit, 30. What it means when they say that, when the Lord says that, is that you're going to have guys with 10 talents, you're going to have some guys with 5 or 6 talents, and then you might even have certain brothers with 1. And that's how much they're going to be able to bring forth. Now, the fruits of the Spirit, real quick, I want to go into the works of the flesh. Because a lot of you guys teaching this, you don't understand that the new covenant is about having the new mind and the new heart of Yahushua. That is what the new covenant is about. So by guys teaching deceitfully, bringing false doctrine, and now the name of the Lord don't matter. So I guess the Hebrew don't matter either. We can see everybody that don't have a heart. That's why these groups, they tell you that they're not in the covenant yet, because they haven't renewed their heart. They can't renew their heart because they're part of the world. And that's what we got to remember too. You know, the reason we see guys, they're drawing back, they're losing the spirit, because guys never renewed their heart. Their heart always been dark from the beginning. They just been like faking it. And now you really can't fake it in these days. You see what I'm saying? And guys could hate me all day secretly or however the fuck you may feel, but all I've done for brothers is show guys love. You see, it's just that when you get to a point to where you start going off, and when you start lying on the doctrine, when you start adding and taking away from the scriptures, then you make yourself an enemy of the Lord. Like I said, all I've done is show brothers love. That's all I've done. You know, can't nobody say, hey, I show guys hate. I show guys love. brothers that was around me. So I mean, so that's why a lot of guys be turned out too, because deep down, guys, they have a deep hatred. And them looking at you carnally, they're not looking at you as you're of the Lord. They're just looking at you like you're just some other nigga. You know what I'm saying? And that's where guys go wrong. And then by guys fucking around with men that's actually of the Lord, the state of you is just gonna get worse. So guys don't really understand what this truth is about. They just hop into something not understanding spirits and who's really of the spirit. Now guys' hearts are totally darkened. You see what I'm saying? Just like certain guys that was around us, what was taming guys around us was our spirit was like has had their spirit in subject. You see, like our spirit was taming that demonic spirit that guys had in them. Like they never had new hearts. It's just that, like the Lord say, don't be glad because spirits are subject to you, but be glad because your name is written in heaven. Now, because we were around certain guys, the spirit that we had, it like tamed those demons that guys had on them when they was around us to a certain point, so we could be around them. But you see, soon as we like got from around certain guys and shit like that, what happened? Guys became worse. Guys started to add and take away from the doctrine. Guys started to get worse, and evil workers and seducing spirits, they show wax what? Worse and worse. Let me grab that real quick and then I'll come back to this. Yeah, so but guys, because guys can't discern spirits and their heart is dark, they really can't see with their heart because they don't have a heart to see. See, we're not seeing. The thing about the new heart is you're not looking at things as face value. Like you're not looking at shit in a carnal way. Even though guys act like they're in the spirit, but actually they're just carnal and they got dark hearts. The things of the flesh, Galatians, they point them out, and Galatians points out the fruits of the spirit. This is 2 Timothy 3:13, and this is exactly what is happening. It's happening with guys in these big ass groups, and it's happening with false brothers that we was once with. They're just becoming worse, and they don't understand what this is about anymore. They're just lost. They're just lost. They're just lost. This truth ain't about the mark of the beast. This truth is about the election. And a lot of guys, they're not of the election. They're not. They're just reprobates. The multitude of the guys in these groups, they're reprobates. And you got reprobates just teaching the Bible. And you have to be able to see where men's hearts is at. 2 Timothy 3:13, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. So you have a bunch of evil men. They're deceiving others and they're being deceived themselves. Because what? They never renewed their fucking mind. You see? So it's heavy, man. It's very heavy. So a lot of guys, they haven't been made whole. They've been made worse in these times. You see? So Yahweh Shai, one of the major mysteries about the new covenant is that the new covenant is not just a new covenant, it's a new mind. Now, if this world's dying away and the majority of guys that's teaching this truth, they're in a carnal mind teaching. That means that the majority of these guys that don't change their mind into the new covenant mind, they're not going to make it. A lot of guys, they can't make it. The new covenant is based off of love. It's based off of faith. It's based off of believing. With that comes what? Discerning. Now, a lot of guys, because they don't have good hearts and they haven't repented and they're not of the elect, they cannot repent. Their stony hearts won't allow them to repent. So that's why we urge certain of you to come out of these groups and wide gates and come from and stop listening to certain guys that are not in the spirit anymore. They're just in a dark, evil spirit. Now, Galatians 5:16, this I say then, walk ye in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. So you have to walk in the spirit of the new covenant, which this is the spirit of love. And that now, if you don't have love in your heart, then you can't walk in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? You're not walking in the spirit with hate in your heart, bro. You're just fooling yourself. And that's these groups. Because they deny the new covenant, they're not walking in the spirit. They're just in the flesh. Galatians 5:17, for the flesh lusts against the spirit. See, if you're in the flesh, you're going to hate us because we're in the spirit. What does the spirit have to do with Yahushua and love, the new mind, the new covenant? If you're not under the new covenant, then you're in the flesh. And guys that say they're in the new covenant, they're actually in the flesh because they actually have dark hearts, because they have dark souls. It says, for the flesh lusts against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary one to another, so that ye cannot do the things which that ye would. But if you're led of the spirit, then you're not under the law. And a lot of guys, they're not led of the spirit because they don't have love in their heart. They haven't renewed their mind. So they're not led by the spirit. They're led by their dark, evil heart. Now the works of the flesh are manifest. Check this out. Which are these: adultery. Guys, it can commit physical and spiritual adultery, fornication, believing in anything other than what Yahushua laid out, what the scriptures have laid out. Guys have done that in uncleanness, bringing wayward doctrines, lasciviousness, idolatry. That's why dealing with idolatry, you can make men idols where you're not really worshiping the Lord like that because you're not in the covenant with him, and you could double honor men, and that will make them idols. Therefore, when you're not in the covenant with the Lord, you're honoring men. Therefore, you're making men idols. It says witchcraft. That's what guys are using. Witchcraft. They're lying, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, sedition, heresies. Heresies is saying you need a new body to be in the covenant with the Lord. That's what a heresy is. Heresy is teaching the Virgin Mary. You see? Bringing lies. Talking about the name of the Lord don't matter. These are all works that are manifesting of the flesh to let you know that guys are of the flesh. It says envyings. This is of the flesh. Guys have envy in their heart. And like I've said, man, for the record, man, all I've done was show brothers love. You know, that's all I've done. And because you show guys love and ultimately all they have is hate in their heart, it ain't gonna do them any good. Because we gotta understand, like, we can show brothers love. Like for myself, I can show brothers love all day. But because guys deep down, they have hate in their fucking heart, they can't return that love to you because they don't have any love. So they don't have the fruits of the Spirit. They're not in the new covenant. Well, the new covenant ain't something you just saying you're in. The new covenant is a part of a new mind. And this is what guys don't understand either. You can't just say you're part of the new covenant. You actually have to be of it. That's why we see guys ain't of it. The Lord spitting their ass out, guys that say they're of the covenant. And guys denying the covenant, they're not of the covenant either. You know what I'm saying? So you're not of the Lord. You're not in the spirit. You're in the spirit of this world. It says envious, murders, drunkenness, ravelings, and such are like, of the which I tell you, therefore, as I have also told you in time past, they that do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. So guys are not in the spirit. With hate, murder, revelings, bringing heresies, idolatry, witchcraft, guys are not in the spirit. So they're teaching the Bible in a corrupt way. You got to be able to see that. Now, verse 22, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, and faith. Right, so the wicked, they don't have any peace. Because what's happening is by we're teaching the new heart and the new covenant, because that's something we have. It's not something we're just saying. We have that from within. What they're doing is they don't give the wicked any peace because this is their fucking world. It says meekness, temperance, against such there is no law. And they that are the anointed have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. And let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. So like if you have hatred and you have jealousy and you envy somebody deep down, then you're not in the Spirit. The new covenant is a spirit of having love for your brother, not envyings and jealousy for your brother. Now deep down, if you have that, what you got to understand is you're not in the Spirit. And you could fake like you're in the Spirit, but really you got a dark hatred. Like a lot of our people, they have a dark hatred because they have dark hearts. It's something you can't fake. And it's going to come out, man. Matthew 10 and 13, going back to Matthew 13. And the disciples came and said unto them, why speakest thou unto them in parables? And he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. And the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, it don't have nothing to do with a bunch of fucking prophecies. The mysteries of the kingdom of heaven is mainly concerning Yahushua and the gospels and the new covenant and the mind of the Lord. See what these carnal elders and these carnal men in these camps been doing for years. They've been going around in circles, not really getting to the point, which the point is Yahushua. But you can't get to the point unless the Lord is in you and you are part of that covenant and you have that new heart. So we see all the tricks that guys have been doing. And I'm telling you this, man, if you say you're part of the new covenant and deep down you got hate in your heart, you're not going to make it either, bro. And that's what we see. We see guys that act like they're of the Lord, but the Lord's showing us guys don't have hearts and they're not right. Matthew 13 and 11, he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but unto them it's not given. One of the biggest mysteries is that everybody's not going to have a new heart on this side. So that means everybody's not going to be under that covenant right now. Just like they're teaching, they're not in the covenant. That's right. They're not in the covenant because they don't have a new mind. Their heart isn't whole with the Lord. The only thing, like the Lord isn't their first priority. They don't have love in their heart. All right. So they're right. So one of the biggest mysteries is that only a few of us brothers is going to have a new mind and repent and be of the Lord. Because only a few is needed to fulfill prophecy. Remember, you can't fulfill any prophecy if you don't have no fucking power. You can't fulfill anything without Yahushua. So guys denying the covenant, they're not fulfilling anything. If you have a stony heart, you're not fulfilling any prophecies. The only ones fulfilling prophecies is the elect, the ones that actually have love in their heart. It says, for whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and whoever shall have more abundance, and he shall have more abundance. So whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. Check this out. So who has it is going to be given more. Check this out. But whosoever have not, from him shall be taken away even that he have. So guys that don't really have it, they're going to get worse because what they have is going to be taken from them. That's why guys don't have that's why guys say the name don't matter. Because what the Lord is doing, because guys never had it, he's taking away from them things that they've had. And it's worse for guys that say they teach the new covenant. The guys that just say they're not in the covenant, they're more better than guys saying that they're in the covenant, because at least they're saying, hey, they're not in the covenant yet. But if you say you're in the covenant and you don't have a fucking right heart or a right mind or love, you're going to be stripped. You see? Verse 13, it says, therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. See? So a lot of people, they're not going to understand in these days, and that's just how it's going to be. And only a few of us are really going to see eye to eye with Yahweh Shai. But with that, I hit you brothers a little bit later. I just wanted to put that point out there. If you're not really of the Lord, it's going to show. You see, and there's no faking it in these times. Hey, with that, Shalom.